Now, Grab is, what can I say? It's really Southeast Asia's super app, offering everything from transport to food delivery to package delivery to payments to video streaming. It's present in 8 countries and over 400 cities. Anytime there are that many transactions in one platform, I think you know there's going to be some risk of bad things happening and bad people doing bad things. Now, Wui Foo leads the protection team, among other functions, at Grab. June is going to talk to him today about the way Apache Kafka impacts that effort, including integrations with external systems, external to Grab, connections between internal subsystems, and of course, the move of all of this to cloud. June and Wei, it's all you.
So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Kafka Summit 2021 for APAC. So, Wei, welcome. First, maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit and your role to us.
Hey, June. Nice to be here. My name is Wui Ngiap, or Wui for short. I am the head of technology at Grab, and I head up a couple of functions here at Grab. Our overall protection umbrella, our mobility engineering teams, as well as Grab's patent office.
Okay, sounds good. So Wei, not everyone is necessarily familiar with Grab. Could you tell us a bit about Grab and what it does?
Certainly. So for those that don't know us, Grab is a technology company that exists to solve Southeast Asian problems. We were born about in 2012 out of a desire to really make taxis or transportation in Malaysia safer. And today, as Southeast Asia's leading super app, our technology and platform has empowered millions of Southeast Asians every day, and we build solutions to address some of the region's most pressing problems. For example, whether it's about getting from point A to point B in a safe and convenient manner, or it's about serving the underserved through healthcare and financial services. Really, my team and I are driven by this belief that technology is a force for good, and especially in an underserved region like Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good mission you guys are on. So what are the problems you're trying to solve with Grab Defense?
Right. So as you would know, a core part of my role here at Grab is to oversee trust and safety, essentially keeping our users safe. And just to quote a stat, about 1.6% of all online revenue in Southeast Asia is actually lost to fraud. And so very early in our journey at Grab, we've realized that building trust is one of the key pillars in unlocking the economic potential of the Southeast Asian region. And therefore, we've invested deeply through the years in a suite of protection solutions, right? And we collectively named that suite Grab Defense. So what Grab Defense really is the ability for us to take a set of unique technologies we've built through the years and make that available to other companies on a mission to help them keep their users safe as well. And the reason we are able to get so good at this is because we have visibility of millions of data points that transact on our platform daily. This helps us break down some of the biggest challenges faced by the industry, things like anomalous transactions, things like GPS spoofing, into core AI and engineering problems. And as such, we've actually managed to keep the fraud rates on our platform far below industry averages. We on average are at about 0.2%. And really, at the core of it, what Grab Defense is an inspiration of stories like yours, Jun, how you and Jay and Neha built great pieces of technology at LinkedIn and externalize it to great success. And what we're trying to do here is to do very much the same playbook, right? Take Grab Defense, something we've invested in, and try to externalize it so that other companies get some of that goodness.
Yeah, it's very interesting how you leverage those digitized information to reduce the fraud rate. What about the cloud and the managed services? We see a lot of places are moving into the cloud and managed services. What's your take at Grab?
Right. So, I mean, so we are lucky enough to have been cloud native from birth, right? So from the day we started from the cloud. And one sort of conscious decision we took is we also tried to be an AI native company from the start. And so every year we process billions of transactions. You can imagine the scale of the compute power we'll need to meet the needs of millions of people who are using our platform on a regular basis. And leveraging cloud and managed service is just a core part of our strategy, as it allows for flexibility and scalability, supporting use cases such as traffic congestions and safety, and also minimizing our extra effort on managing dedicated infra. So as a company, what we try to do is we try to avoid this not invented here syndrome that hits a lot of tech companies. Instead, what we have is this hybrid build plus buy strategy. We build what is core to us, and we partner with the best-in-class players for what they do well and things that we don't think we should be building. And we work obviously with a variety of partners, and our approach is to find the best fit for each specific requirement. And through our partnership approach, we've actually been able to leverage on the expertise and experience to fast forward and accelerate many things, right? AI development, core technologies, streaming platforms. And in the case of working with Confluent and Kafka, we actually saw a great fit between Confluent's capabilities in helping us accelerate our externalization efforts on Grab Defense, primarily in the areas of reliability and go-to-market. So end of day, really, the summary is our decision to use certain technologies, including cloud and managed services, is guided by our principles to empower our platform to solve the most pressing issues for our customers.
Yeah, this sounds like a good strategy to decide where to buy versus build. So let's move on to talk about Kafka. So how does Grab use Kafka, and what are some of the reasons behind it?
Right. So as a disclaimer, I do want to say that our relationship with Kafka is relatively new, right? But we do use it in very interesting ways. So what really drew the team to Confluent and Kafka is how the solution offers, what I mentioned, right? Speed and reliability as we would scaling Grab Defense. So a little story. Grab Defense was an in-house stack until I think 2 years ago. And as you would know, as many technologists would know, when you build in-house stacks, you tend to have it very intertwined with all the sort of quirks of an internal company, right? And when we started trying to bring it outside, we realized that many of the underlying foundation bits were just not built for interoperability, right? So other companies' stacks have different needs, different concerns, and there was no plug and play in all of this. And so we started looking out for what we call universal adapters, right? A class of service providers that provided what we need for us to plug and play into other people's stack. And we saw Confluent being one of these, right? The ability to be cloud and stack agnostic, to fit different requirements regardless of industry and domain and brand and solution, and also maintaining the autonomy of the solution that we're trying to deliver. So for Grab Defense specifically, we serve a suite of fintech companies that have very, very strict regulatory requirements around data privacy, data separation, and the likes. And so Kafka was able to help us to achieve data isolation for streaming events, things like signups, logins, transactions, and cash outs. And you can imagine why this sort of data is super sensitive to fintech players and banks. And our developers now provision new streams and onboard new clients with just a few clicks on the portal, and minimal concern about just base layer stability, scalability. And I think that is valuable.
So could you provide us with a couple of use case examples of Kafka at Grab?
Okay. So one just off the top of my mind. Currently, we are using Kafka to ingest data sources from our mobile SDK and client backends, and we aggregate potential events that might constitute fraudulent behavior, so that we can pick up on potential bad actors before they strike. So, these sort of data sources will include things like device fingerprinting signals, user events, and are fed into Apache Flink or Spark for feature engineering. And that post-ETL, it would then be pushed into ML models and deep learning models. So we've actually quite enjoyed our experiences working with Kafka and Confluent to date. Most of the features have been working well out of the box, and we are working towards self-serve options by enabling custom fields so as to provide greater access of the tech amongst the teams, not just to the engineers.
Yeah, that's great. So what are some of the recommendations that you may want to provide to other Kafka users during the implementation?
So I guess if you are born in the cloud or cloud native, like ourselves, and you don't really want to spend a lot of effort and resources of figuring out how to self-host your Kafka streams, exploring Confluent, I think, is a great place to start, especially if you intend to have a fully managed cloud native service across the organization. Another interesting thing about how Grab is thinking about our cloud dependency is we eventually want to move to a state of being cloud provider agnostic, right? So we want to be able to deploy across multiple clouds. And if that is a goal, then I suggest you also maybe think about Confluent Cloud from day one. Otherwise, it actually would take a lot of effort and resources to duplicate your code and then to adapt to the different native streaming solutions offered by different clouds.
Yeah, that portability that you mentioned definitely is very important to a lot of other companies as well. So one final question for you, Wei. What's next?
Okay, so what's next for Grab? Great question. So as a group, I think we continue to push on efforts to deliver more features with the help of AI and cloud to help address opportunities in the market. As I mentioned earlier, we want to be sort of customer focused and work backwards from what they need. And that's really what drives Grab's mission. So for example, in our financial service verticals, fintechs have generally been more regulated and more cautious towards AI adoption for good reason. And so we're only starting to sort of invest deeper into AI, everything from credit scoring to financial product personalization to risk and compliance products delivered through Grab Defense that I mentioned above. And I think there's a ton of potential there. And with the pandemic still in sight for many other countries, food and mart deliveries have become just so core to the consumer behavior. Many people rely on us for deliveries to ensure that daily essentials, cooked food, groceries, even household products are delivered. And we continue to build upon AI advancement to really sort of bring step changes to how we operate in the markets. Everything from batching orders for better efficiency, load balancing demand and supply, and also personalizing things like search and recommendation.
So with that, thanks a lot for your time, Wei, and wish you continued success at Grab and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Jun. Big fans of the work you and your team do.
Thank you. Take care.